All right, welcome back to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel. My name is Chris and I'm here to bring you guys the high rev perspective.
And my name is Josh and I'll be bringing the low rev perspective.
Today we're going to be taking a look at Purple Hammer 78D.
These comparisons will give us and you an idea of what these pieces look like going down the lane. At the end, we will give our honest, unbiased review anywhere from nuts to trash. Today we are here at Bolero Via Linda on a fresh sports shot. We are bowling on the 2025 PBA Wolf. So with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe and we'll see you out on the lanes. If you'd like to see us throw future urethane balls on more of a house type shot versus sport, please let us know down in the comments below.
All right, after seeing the Purple Hammer 78D go down the lane, this one being highly anticipated, I was really curious to see what this one looked like going down the lane. And today here, we're bowling on PBA Wolf, so something that's a little bit flatter and a little shorter. I think it looked pretty good. They did tweak the core a little bit to create a little bit more diff than the original Black Hammer 78, and you could really kind of see that. I feel like it's quite a bit earlier and slower off the spot than the original. To me, it flares quite a bit more and it kind of tells how much more diff there is. And to me, it feels closer to a 16 Black Hammer just because of the extra diff that the 16 has, but you can throw it a little faster just because of the slightly lighter weight. To me, I thought it would be a little quicker to friction, and to me here, with it being a little bit slower to friction, it didn't look quite as good. I really had to be on top of it and really slow with my ball speed. I could tell if I got anywhere quick, it was never seeing the pattern where it needed to. So to me, if I was in just slightly and missed it down lane, left a little bit too much, never really saw the pattern the right way. So playing a little straighter, getting closer to the gutter, finding that a little bit earlier friction helped with this one quite a bit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the original Purple Hammer and see how that compares. Overall, I feel like the original Purple is quite a bit earlier of a shape, more rounded. And I honestly think it's a little bit more continuous just because of it wanting to see it just a little sooner. I definitely still needed to play pretty straight. My moves left still didn't quite want to see the pattern the right way. So being a little bit more on top of it and more forward with my hand position made this one look pretty good. I definitely saw it see the lane a couple feet sooner than the 78 Purple Hammer. And the original, I could get away with the fast misses just because it wanted to slow down that much more than the 78 Purple Hammer. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the 78 Black Hammer and see how that compares. All right, after seeing the Black Hammer go down the lane, to me this one's much cleaner than the Purple Hammer is, especially with the slightly lower diff. I think you can kind of play a little straighter with this and see more down lane shape. You're not gonna quite see it slow down as much as the new one. I definitely think you can shape the Black Hammer a little bit, but you definitely need to keep your ball speed really slow. There was one where I kind of jumped left and tested to see if it would bounce off the friction, and it didn't quite get there, but I did think it retained just a little bit more energy than the Purple Hammer did. All right, final thoughts on the Purple Hammer 78. To me, this one, I think, underperformed to expectations, in my opinion. I definitely think it's still gonna be a good option, especially for the PBA tournaments that you have to have that 78 hardness, and it's different enough from the Black Hammer that you could have both of them in the bag. There's no real kind of overlap with those. So I think it's gonna be good, it's gonna be versatile. Not quite as versatile as the original Purple. I feel like you could throw that on anything. To me, I think the 78 Purple, you can't throw it on as much volume as the originals just because it doesn't want to slow down quite as much. So to me, because it kind of underperformed my expectations, I feel like I'm gonna put this in the meh category.
For me, this ball looks almost identical to the other Purple. However, definitely not the same in ball motion. I do feel like this one is a little bit weaker and just overall doesn't hook quite as much. I do feel like it's closer, if anything, to like a Black Hammer rather than the original Purple Hammer. But for me, I actually like the shape. I do feel like it allowed me to kind of play straighter, which did kind of trick me a little bit. I felt like I could be a little bit further left, but ended up moving further right. And once I got to that zone, the ball looked amazing. I think I was a little stubborn on just trusting that that would be the move, but it's short. They always get tighter. I should know that. But anyway, once like I said, once I got there, ball motion looked really good, and I felt like I could even get it to the gutter a little early, and it was just slow enough to where it wouldn't overreact on me, which I really liked. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw the original purple hammer and see how it compares. For me, this ball was easily a couple feet sooner and just overall a bigger ball. I did feel like it forced me a little bit further left and couldn't play as straight with it. I had to find more of that hold. But once I did get there, again, it was more of like a parallel move, still keeping my angles in front of me, not trying to send it to the gutter or else it would just really peel off of it. It was really just trying to make sure that my angles were close enough and my ball speed was slow enough to allow the ball time to get off the end of the pattern. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the NU 2.0 and see how it compares. Ball, it was easily the cleanest out of all 3. Still kind of gave an urethane-esque shape, but you can definitely feel how much smoother and cleaner it is through the front portion of the lane. Again, if I wasn't hitting it perfectly, which there was a couple shots that I goofed up on, but if I wasn't rolling that ball perfectly, it was not hooking. Where at least with the other purples, like even if I got slightly around it, you could still see that it tried. And I feel like for me, that's the biggest difference and as to why where I probably wouldn't throw the NU 2.0 right now, because again, like that really hurts me as a bowler, where if I don't hit, if I don't make a perfect shot, I'm getting 5 kind of thing. So overall, this ball just was not the ball for today, but definitely I would say 2 steps down from the new purple for sure. Final thoughts on the new purple 78D. For me, this ball, I just wasn't really sure what to expect just because it has such a big name that comes with it. Overall, I really like the ball. I do feel like it's closer to a black hammer than it is the original purple. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just knowing where it is so you can use it properly. And for me today, I felt like I was able to use it pretty good and allowed me to kind of, again, play my A game, which is play a little straighter, but still have a little bit of juice to the engine. So for today, it's gonna be a fire. I do see myself adding this to the bag, probably taking out a couple other balls just because this one for me, again, I just felt like it gave me a little bit of misstream in either direction, which for me with urethane is I hardly get that chance with anything like that. So fire for today.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure to like it, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.